Hello grade 11s, welcome back to a new video. So in today's video we'll be doing the economic redress, which is environmental deterioration. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to the channel, share with your friends and families. And without wasting any more of your precious time, let's get right into the video. So we will be doing the environmental problems in South Africa, protecting the environment, approach to sustainability, and the global and local impact on South Africa. So what we will be looking at is economic deterioration. Well, let's check on Google. Economic deterioration is the decline in a country or region's financial health marked by falling productivity, rising unemployment, and reduced financial stability. So it is characterized by factors like declining GDP, lower household income, and a decrease in new businesses and jobs, often leading to economic recession. This can be caused by events such as war, natural disasters, or a shutdown in consumer and business spending. So economic deterioration is a decline in the health of a country or region. So how do you see that there's economic deterioration in a region? There is reduced economic activity, there's high levels of unemployment, there's decreased income, weakened business environment. So a business environment is weakened, is stagnant, there are no new businesses entering, there is slowing growth, there is lower investment, and the causes of economic deterioration may be poor governance, excessive debts, where the country has so much debt. Poor governance is the inability of the government to govern the country. External shocks like natural disasters, wars like we have, international wars, high rates of inflation, and self-fulfilling prophecies, where people are only looking for themselves but have no regard for the economy and people, and the unsustainable policies by certain governments. So this explanation, I got it from Google. Okay, so guys, it's very important that you get external information to make it better for you to understand any topic on economics or business studies. Now we are back to Via Africa Study Guide for Economics Grade 11. You can download it on Google. It's a digital book. So the economy is strongly connected to the environment. Now that we know what is economic deterioration, we can go on the environmental problems in South Africa. So we are going to be looking at South Africa specifically when we're talking about economic deterioration here. So the economy is strongly connected to the environment. How the environment is will help us have a strong economic advantage. If we're able to plant, the environment is good, that businesses are able to thrive, we are able to produce, we are able to plant, then that will help the economy to grow. So a strong environment can provide support to businesses by providing raw material, and a strong environment can provide employment, for example, in tourism. So if the environment is good looking, is being well taken care of, a business in the tourism sector can flourish in South Africa. So for economic development to be sustainable, the environment must be carefully managed. Okay, deterioration in our environment can cause economic decline. So environmental issues that pose a threat to the continuation of life on Earth include the following: climate change. It poses a threat for us living a long life. Loss of biodiversity. The energy crisis, resources are being depleted rapidly. So people are mining resources beyond what regulations stipulate. Natural resources have been overexploited. Land degradation due to deforestations and overgrazing. So the world's population has doubled and overpopulation leads to shortage of water and food. Urban spiral as towns and cities grow, destroying natural inhabitants, a shortage of farmland. And then we also have pollution, including air pollution caused by motor vehicles and factories, water pollution caused by waste disposal from factories, and runoff from farms into rivers. And then we have best waste management leads to toxic waste pills. So these are the threats to continuation of life on Earth. Let's talk about protecting the environment. So the passing of laws to protect the environment. There are laws that have been enforced in South Africa to make sure that the environment is protected, because a good environment and a protected environment leads to economic growth. So National Environment Laws Amendment Bill has amended several important pieces of legislation, including the Atmospheric Pollution Prevention Act, the Environmental Conservation Act, and the National Environment Management Act. This act stipulates that new developments must be produced and environmental impacts must be studied. Okay, these studies show that the development's impact will be on the environment. This shows how the development's impacts will be on the environment. So the government can take other actions to protect the environment. And we have the following example. How can the government protect the environment? By providing subsidies to environmentally friendly actions such as solar and wind power. So the government will help public companies to buy environmentally friendly resources like solars and wind power by meeting those businesses halfway. By building energy efficient houses for poor people, passing legislation that prevents or reduces different forms of pollution, or reducing dangerous and harmful petrol additives. Emissions from motor vehicles cause high levels of pollution in large cities, and reducing them helps reduce pollution. So you have to know the emissions from motor vehicles, and there are several ways in which we can reduce emissions from motor vehicles by using public transport, more efficient traffic flow, developing more fuel efficient engines and engines that emit less gases, and forcing fuel companies to remove dangerous and harmful additives from petrol. So technological discoveries have made new methods of protecting the environment through renewable resource of power, alternative fuel for motors, methods of recycling waste more efficiently. And then the public opinion can be very powerful. The internet and especially social networking sites allow people from around the world to voice their opinions on matters relating to pollution. So this is how we can protect the environment. All these facts that I mentioned here are how the environment can be protected. So there are many things that businesses and households can do to protect the environment, such as manufacturers can use more recycled material, less toxic and harmful material, reduce the amount of needless packaging, and use more recycled materials. Businesses should reuse more paper. So as you can see, other businesses have already developed a recyclable plastic. Waste should only be disposed at a designated site, and households should recycle bottle, cans, and other waste products. Don't forget to like this video if you are still enjoying, and leave us a comment. So this is an approach to sustainability. How can we be more sustainable? We need to ensure the long-term maintenance of the different parts of our ecosystem so that it functions well for future generations, and ensure that it is diverse and productive. Example of how we can achieve sustainability is just charging people and businesses for the right to use and enjoy the environment, taxing producers of harmful and toxic products, setting limits on the level of pollution allowed, or providing educational information about the environment to the public, such as educating the public about environment, generating pride and passion about the natural environment through school programs. And then we're going to look at the global and local impact on South Africa. So let's look at environmental deterioration in South Africa. So environmental deterioration in South Africa is caused by pollution from mining, overgrazing, where our livestock is grazing the fields, and also air pollution from coal burning for power in townships. And what are the actions of the government? Government actions and bodies to combat environmental deterioration in South Africa include, so these are the government bodies that will help reduce environmental deterioration, or to just to make sure that it is eliminated. The Reconstruction and Development Program, Department of Environmental Affairs and Tourism, National Environmental Management Act, the Bill of Rights, the Marine Living Resources Act, the National Strategy of Sustainable Development. And what is the global action? This is the South African action to combat environmental deterioration. What is the global action? We've done globalization. I hope you now know globalization is the world at large. In 2012, the World Summit on Sustainable Development was held in Johannesburg. As a result, access to power and water for the poor has been increased, lead has been removed from our petrol, and biodiversity and conservation have been highlighted as being issues that need to be addressed. And the National Strategy for Sustainable Development was set up in 2006 to help South Africa achieve the necessary objectives for future development. Countries are working together on an international basis to take steps to protect the environment. The Tokyo Treaty is an international agreement between as many as 170 different countries to reduce emission of greenhouse gases which cause global warming. And we also have the Millennium Development Goal, the 8 international development goals that all the 193 United Nations member states and at least 23 international organizations have agreed to achieve by the year of 2015. The 7th goal is to ensure environmental sustainability. This is to be achieved by integrating the principles of sustainable development into the country policies and programs to reverse the loss of environmental resources, reducing the rate of biodiversity loss significantly by 2010. So here we have our questions. List 3 ways in which natural environment is linked to the economy. Give causes that have contributed to environmental deterioration. So we have those 8 questions. You can answer them. It's 58 marks. And just pause the video and you will get your answers. So here are the answers to the questions. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Until the next one.